What up, world? How we doing this morning? Wednesday. Motivation and inspiration. So I got some thoughts I wanted to share. I was listening to All the World's a Stage by William Shakespeare. Well, I listened to it, but then I also read it. And it really got me thinking, the world is legitimately a stage, right? And I'm going to explain that with y'all real quick. So all of us are born in a hospital. We pop out of mama's legs. And we given a government name, a birth certificate, social security number, all of that. You know, you got to go to daycare, elementary, middle school. But if you look at the celebrities of the world, they have stage names. Lil Baby, Lil Wayne, DaBaby, right? And it got me to thinking, every single one of us used to be kids and would play with, whether you was a little boy playing with your action figures, with your imagination, or you was a girl playing with your Barbie dolls, using your imagination, your Easy Bake Oven, or whatever it may be. All of the celebrities of the world, that's all they doing. They just still moving from their imagination. And once you see that, it's hard to get really attached to that. Like right now, you watching this video, you can decide to start calling yourself, I don't know, Big Baby Gangster or something like that, right? You can start selling t-shirts, hats, movies, documentaries, everything based off this character that you created. The whole world would fall in love with that character. They would support that character. They would be disappointed when that character did something that let them down or make them feel like that character wasn't perfect. If that character was to go to jail, they would say, free that character. If that character was to die, they would have a funeral and mourn that character. Meanwhile, the whole time you know it's just the character, that ain't even really you. That's why it makes the world a stage. When I was in these fashion shows, I'm backstage with 150, 200 of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. Just all of them, just perfect, right? But then when you realize they ain't got no confidence for real. They got to take a shot of liquor before they can walk the runway. They need this pill, they need that. None of these women who, if you look at on their IG, you just like, oh my God, she's she's everything and more, right? When you get to sit in the same room with these women, you see how much nervous energy they have, and they just regular humans. But since the world is such a stage, they can go on IG and post a few little 6-second clips and take some photos, standing over the water looking sideways, and manipulate you to thinking that they got the heart of China from WWF, who used to rock with Triple H. And I feel like the world should hear that, because that's something I didn't know as a kid. I would have moved a lot differently if I would have knew the world was a stage, and a lot of the things that I was consuming, they was fake. They was for my manipulation, not for my inspiration. And so if you somebody who happens to be, struggling with confidence, or struggling with self-esteem, or struggling with anxiety or depression, use your imagination and create a character that's happy, that's positive, and go inside that character as much as you need to. Like, you got to practice it in private before you can naturally be that way in public. But rappers got to go over their tracks over again and again and again in private before they can get on stage in public. Actors, they got to go over their lines again and again and again before they can come to the public. And everything is, you have to mentally condition yourself for. One of the books that I've been listening to, an audiobook yesterday and a little bit this morning, was the Power of Concentration. I can't remember the author's name, but I'll share it on the community page if y'all want. But you got to focus on the good instead of the bad. Even though your eyes can see all the negativity in the physical world, you got to condition yourself to pay attention to the mental plane. And inside of there got to be happiness, peace, joy. But that's your imagination. And whether we talking about from the Bible, seek the kingdom first, whether we talking about Albert Einstein, imagination creates reality, whether it's Ralph Waldo Emerson, anything the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. Earl Nightingale, we become what we think about. James Allen, as a man thinketh, so is he. That's also in the Bible. Look here. So when Shakespeare says the world is a stage, he's telling you what you see inside your head, you eventually gonna see in reality. And that's whether it's happiness, joy, peace, If you want to become a character, Drake isn't really Drake, he's Aubrey. The baby is Jonathan. You know, all of these people, they was once 4 or 5-year-old kids. And who's to say that they didn't like their real self, right? Like, who's to say they didn't get picked on in school, that they really didn't get girls, but they was able to go into this character and fake this confidence and was shocked, like, oh, this is working. People believe this. And was able to keep it going, really be like, become somebody they not because they went inside this character. And I just want to encourage you that if you're not where you want to be, if you don't have the confidence to speak out loud, if you hate public speaking, go into a character that's comfortable with it. You can make a faceless YouTube and nobody ever got to see your face, but I know you got a story to share. Every single one of us has a dope story to share to this world that somebody else needs to hear. And so if you're not comfortable giving it to the world as your government self like I am, I couldn't even think of a character name for me, dog. I couldn't even imagine like really doing that. I don't know. The more I read, the more it makes me look at life like, man, this thing is unique. Because it's a stage once again, and I was a theater major in high school, so it's a lot of things are coming full circle just for the way I view the world. But for my people that's struggling with confidence, man, create you a character. Go inside your imagination and create a modern day Superman for your kids to be in love with. You know, create a superwoman for your children to be in love with. You know, have a relationship like Clark Kent, Lois Lane, wasn't they together? You know, whatever. Like I said, just create what you want to see and watch what happens. And you can look around, you see it work for. We got grown people. We got Birdman. You know, what's some other names we can think of that men really go inside and call themselves? Because they have to look at it truthfully. When they on their dying bed, they gonna look back like, I spent 60 years calling myself P. Diddy. You know what I mean? And I ain't knocking anybody who goes inside their imagination and creates the reality they want. I'm just letting you know you can create that as well. They not better than you. You know, who you see on TV or stars. The sad part about this is a lot of them, the younger ones, they don't even know what they're getting themselves into, right? So they create this character, like most of the kids in the hood, especially little boys, they ain't tough. They not tough. Who the hell is just you in poverty, your mama in Section 8, you ain't got no food to eat. How are you just gangster? So that anger, that's false. It's hella fake toughness. And I can say that because I was one of them kids faking tough. And so you go into this character and you start rapping and it sounds kind of cool, and this rapper's giving you a little money and giving you a different reality. And then a label come around and they put handcuffs on you, and you got to be that character forever. Even if you want to evolve out of it, if you want to look at life differently, if you want to change your perspective, that contract say, nah, we got you for life. This is who you got to be forever. I mean, we've seen the video of Cardi B saying she didn't want to make, you know, drill music no more because she felt like it, you know, brought on demons. Proverbs 18:21, you know, we speak life and death, and 51.5% rappers die in homicide. And most rappers that have passed, you can go back and listen to a lyric where they say something. I mean, Racks in the Middle was Nipsey's last track, and he straight up said, "You would never catch me slipping," and he got caught slipping. So we have to be mindful of what we're putting out to the world, but a lot of these young men don't know that. Or maybe they do, and they take the money and not understanding that this is going to be a long-term consequence. Like Dolph was a great father, Nip was a great father, but they played with the imagery, right? They showed the world their character and kept who they really genuinely was in private. And yeah, if you was around them and you researched them and you studied them, then you knew, hey, he's really a legit father and a legit man. But to the masses, he's just another Crip. You know, to the masses, Dolph is just another rapper. A lot of people don't know he was going to open up a school in Memphis for kids and all that. So that's why I say you got to be careful with what you portray on this world stage. Because your art will outlive you. Your image will outlive you. And so if you got a character out here into the world that, yeah, may give you a lot of monetary success and worldly success, but it's, you know, not a great reflection of the long-term man or woman you would want to portray yourself, then like they say, what do you profit to gain the world and lose your soul? Because on God, a lot of young women right now who's playing OnlyFans models and these super sexual young girls on their Instagram pages, they capping. I done been around too many women in my life to know when a woman meets a man she wants, all they go out the window. She gonna act different, she gonna talk different because she want him to pick her. You know, I've been backstage with 300-400 women compete for my competition for me to talk to them and entertain them. So I promise you, what you see on the internet, it's not real. Just become great. Be that dude and watch what happens. I didn't ask my wife to delete it. I didn't ask my wife to do nothing. She did everything on her own. I ain't ever asked no woman to do anything. I'm not having no conversation about submitting. Like I said, the world is a stage. So the stage that is projecting, because if you don't know who you are, the world is going to tell you who you are. And the world is telling all men, hey, you're not good enough. You got to meet X, Y, Z box. And I'm saying create that character of confidence where you say, man, I'm lit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't Johnny Calloway, but we up there because we all great in God's image. You know, if women realize that they didn't have to create that character of that over-sexual being, that they could be fully dressed. Think about your grandma. Your grandma would have one nightgown, always had a wrap on her head, and grandpa kept her pregnant. She didn't have to have no job. She got all her bills paid and didn't have to show no skin in public. You know? So that's why I'm saying we have to, the character that the world is presenting in masses, that's just taking advantage of broken people. I was a broken kid, so when I saw Lil Wayne on TV, it was when he was on the front of the Source magazine with Birdman, stunned like my daddy, covered in tattoos. I said, oh, I'm gonna look like that. Because in my mind, if I was covered in tattoos, that'd give me a tougher image to the world. Wouldn't nobody be trying to mess with me. And it worked. You know, I got a bunch of low quality tattoos because when you in the hood, you get low quality work done. And people will be like, hey boy, you been to prison? Hell no, why you say that? Oh, that tattoo just look like prison work. That's just because my dude wasn't that good. You know, he'd call me and say, bro, bring me 2 double cheeseburgers and a pack of Swishers and I'll give you a tattoo. I'm on the way, cuz. But you on that mental playing field where you don't know it's a higher level than that. And you consume certain imagery, that's the norm that's projected to you, so that's where you go. So that's why I tell you, if you have to think big. If you have to choose something to pick from, choose the biggest, the bestest, the brightest. Use your imagination to go as far and wide as possible, because why limit yourself? There are no limits in life. So when you step into creator mode, go big. Go super big. Go super, 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 super big. And if the people around you don't laugh at you, then you ain't dreaming big enough. Because nobody really thinks you're going to make it. I mean, people can quote unquote say they believe in you, but the masses of people are sitting around worrying about themselves and what they got going on in their world. And that's why I say you got to be your own biggest fan. I always say that. You got a wife, you got children, but if everybody, even if your wife quit on you and say, this ain't paying off, even if your husband walk out on you, even if your kids rebel against you, you still got to have peace inside to know God gave you a gift and you better use it. And I'm a true believer that if you walk in the right way and you lead in the right way, the people will naturally want to follow you. I don't think you have to beg anybody to follow you or ask them, hey, can I be your leader? I just think you just need to do the right thing and go the right direction. And the ones that want to follow you will. My children, my boys, they was getting in trouble left and right when they was down in Texas with their mama. I mean, went to 3-4 different elementary schools, was always fighting, was always doing something destructive. My boys have changed 1,000%. But they got a better example in front of them, you know? Their mama's boyfriends, they was drinking, they was smoking, they was sitting on the couch playing Fortnite all night. So what was my boy supposed to follow? When them men had my sons listening to NBA Youngboy and NLE Chopper and Chief Keef and King Von, of course my sons was gonna follow that. And I can't be upset at these rappers for the content that they creating. It's not their job to raise my kids. I mean, I guess I could say I can, you know, have a beef with the stepfather because he could have been putting better content in front of my children, but he don't give a damn about my kid. He was there to sleep with their mama. The world is a stage. We seen this. We seen the movie Baby Boy. We know how it go. So we can play ignorant or we can accept 98% of what you see in front of you is stage. It's political. It is a character. And the choice is yours on what type of character you want to be and how you want to move to this world, or if you want to be genuine. But I will say that if you're going to move through this world as a genuine person, understand that the world is evil. The world is mean. And so you got to be willing to give your love and your light without expecting anything back. Because I don't expect to get anything back from how nice I am to the world. This world is dark and evil and mean, man. If you come into this world full of light, it's going to leave you dark. It's going to make you hate any and everything around you. I've been there, done that. But when the world turned my spirit dark, it didn't hurt nobody but me. Nobody could feel my anger, my rage. I was a hot-headed little dude. Man, 0 to 100 real quick. Real quick. But I had to evolve past that, and I seen that was the world being able to use me and control me. And it was embarrassing to see how I could lose my cool over, somebody cutting me off in traffic, or, getting into arguments on basketball courts. There's a lot of things when you look back and self-reflect. You're like, man, that could have been it right there, Even, like I said, how reckless I was with women. And just, sometimes I want to share my stories, because, you hear all these dudes on these public forums talk about how their life was with girls. But when I say I was like that for real, how King Von would do his rap songs, like Crazy Story Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. I would love to do like Crazy Story and share some of my stuff that I've been through with women, because y'all wouldn't even believe it, dog. When I say I was young and getting it on Kurt Cobain's level. And now it's funny to look back to think, Johnny, you was everywhere but focused on your goals and your dreams and trying to do something productive. But the world is a stage, and I saw that the character of the Trey Songz, the Playboy, the Jay Valentines, the Jay Holidays, the Marcus Houstons, the Omarions, and I thought I fit into that description with a little Kobe Bryant, but now I'm just trying to be who God called me to be. I guess so, man. It's weird talking about God and spirituality, because once again, I ain't trying to fit nobody else's definition of nothing. So whatever. If you think I cuss too much, or I got too much slang, or I don't know. To everybody who happens to watch this video, be the best version of yourself. Be happy, be happy, be happy. In a world full of negativity, just be something different. Like why not? You know what I'm saying? The same energy it takes to say I hate you, it takes the same energy to say I love you, I hope you heal. The same energy it takes to quit on something is the same energy it takes to, give it a little more effort and keep going. And I just want to encourage everybody to keep going. Just keep going. Your current situation is not your final destination. But you don't want to look up 10 years from now and say, damn, I wish I would have started back then. Go on and start now. Ain't nothing stopping you. Do what you do. You know what you love to do. You know what your gift is. Start today, baby. I can't wait to consume your art. I love you all. Have a super mega awesome day. Never, ever, ever, ever be too proud to pray. And you got to just be happy all the time, just in a state of gratitude, because blessings is always on the way. You never know when they're going to just drop in your life, and your whole reality is going to change. So get that inner joy and that inner peace ready right now at this very moment. We out here, baby. I got to go clock in. Peace.